So this coronavirus is hitting a lot of people in the pocket.
Small businesses especially.
Yeah, small businesses, big time.
Mm.
Fortunately, Mark Cruz. Cruiser.
Wow.
He's at
Rochdale legend.
Bank of Queensland, Windsor, and they've been absolutely superb with me. Really looked after the whole repayment, so the loans, they've frozen them. Credit card interest is going to be delayed.
Wow.
So look, we've been fortunate in my respect, but I would probably urge anyone with a small business or anyone who needs financial help to get yourself to Bank of Queensland, Windsor. Go and see Cruiser.
Give him a shout.
Yeah.
Tough times ahead. It's probably only going to get worse. So the faster the better. Probably.
Yeah. Sooner you get in there and see him, get yourself set up. I think it's probably going to be for the best. So yeah, Mark Cruz, Bank of Queensland, Windsor. Get yourself in and get sorted. 100%. Look after yourself.
So I've got to say, because I told you I would, but he come over. He flew to Perth. I don't know why he went to Perth, and then so I'm saying to him like,
Gaff on me up.
Where are you? I'll walk down and meet you.
Yeah, just drive down the road.
We're in a suburb called Perth. Where's that in Mackay?
I'll be there in 12 days, man.
Yes.
Proportions. It belongs in a different galaxy altogether.
Welcome to the 6th edition of the Subs Bench, part 1. We're joined by 2 new people today. We've obviously already done episode 5 this morning, just the 3 of us, but now he's back from his dirty weekend.
Sorry lads, had to get a bit of sun.
I bet you didn't get much.
Not much sun in the bedroom, is there?
No.
And we've got Graham Harvey on as a guest, so thanks for joining us. I know you're struggling at the minute with is it a double fracture, triple fracture, or?
Just managed to break my fib in 5 places and dislocate my ankles.
So what does that count? That's not a...
Oh, that is a...
I did that. I was trying to keep up with Pat Hedges and his record of 1,000 games on the Gold Coast, so I thought I could play over 35s, and I lasted about 5 minutes on my debut. So yeah.
Oh.
So it was a debut as well.
Yeah. Did a good job on myself.
How long are they talking? Full year? I mean, if you want to
6 to 9 months.
6 to 9 months.
Yeah, so I've just had 2 surgeries so far. Another one to come.
Tackle or just like twisted? Or
it was a tackle. I got a bit
yeah.
excited and went in for a tackle, and then just
kicked you.
just kind of got my foot stuck in the ground, and then just spun round, and I was actually alright, and then I saw my foot, and then I was in bits.
Was it compound or?
No, it stayed in, but it was facing the other way, which was
brutal, isn't it?
Yeah, like you see them on TV and you always look away, and then that's that's in my mind a fair bit at the moment. But I've got 9 screws in it, but hopefully everything.
When did this happen?
About 4.5 weeks ago. I just planned it because I knew what was coming with this virus. So
Strategic.
Yeah.
Very strategic.
I've got some elevators in this building, eh?
Yeah.
Might not have got you here.
I'm quite happy with my arms at the moment.
Yeah, your arms are looking jacked. I don't know who's bigger.
Yeah. And we swap.
No. Hang on, what do you say?
swap shirts, you'll look bigger.
So small, bro.
So look, we had a bit of a chat earlier on about what this virus is doing, killing our football and whatnot, amongst other things, obviously. But what do you do when you got nothing, no football?
Go to the beach, dog park, walk, gym.
Yeah,
spread it some more. What do you do, eh?
And as you say, you've already been half isolating by not being able to get out and do much, so it doesn't really change what you've been doing the last month.
Nah, just working my way through the free 30-day memberships on Amazon and Netflix, and just keep changing my email address, so just go through that basically.
Yeah, I think that Netflix are going to do really well out of this, aren't they? And Amazon and Stan and all that.
Uber Eats probably too.
Yeah.
Brazzers.
So, all right, well look, we'll delve, we'll dive in and go through, I suppose, your career path, how you came to be sat in this room with us, with a busted leg. So, growing up in the UK, down south.
Yeah.
as I would call it. They
Yeah.
wouldn't
No.
make
Dirty
a difference
south.
to you, would it? Just England. So just give us a bit of a background on sort of your love for football, where it started, etc.
Yeah, so I'm a Watford boy. So spent many years as a kid.
Elton.
Everyone always says that. Everyone always says that. Yeah, I don't know why. But so just grew up watching Watford. weren't a particularly good side when I was growing up. So in like the old first and second division.
Was it the post Graham Taylor the first time?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was like, I was born '84, and that's obviously when he got to the cup final and had a good spell. But yeah, so I was sort of 93, 94, and then Taylor came back towards the end of the 90s, which was a good time.
Yeah.
So that's I kind of grew up with that, which I'd probably say is shit football, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, stick it in the channels and chase that. So that's kind of what I grew up with. And then as a player, I went to Stevenage as a YTS and did my 2 years there and got binned because I wasn't very good. And then I went off down to uni, down to Southampton.
Yeah.
Played semi-pro there at Eastleigh. Had a good 2-3 years at Eastleigh. We had a real good side between. I was only a young boy there, so we had like between the reserves and the first team. I think we had 3. The first team had 3 promotions in a row. Got themselves up to Conference South at the time, which was good. So had a good time there. And when I finished uni, I thought might go travelling for a little bit. So disappeared for 6 months travelling, and then went back to the UK. Didn't really do much, to be honest. Did a bit of teaching, and then I came back to Australia in 2008.
So when you'd gone travelling, you obviously did a bit everywhere and decided Australia's somewhere I can...
No, I went stateside for a fair bit.
Yeah.
Quite like Vegas, to be fair. So
Doesn't everybody?
I can agree with that.
Agree with that, yeah.
Vegas is good.
Yeah. I went home and started to play back in Watford, and didn't really enjoy Tuesday nights getting kicked up in the air all the time. Just met a girl, and Australian girl. So
as you do.
Yeah, came over here in 2008.
They'll get you.
Got me. Yeah. Moving on quick. Dodge that one. But 2008 came over and went and played at Lions with Simon, Timmy Lawson, Delosa, and all those boys for a year. And then the girl at the time, she got a job up in Mackay, so moved
that's
up
where
there.
you went.
Yeah, played up there for 2 years with the minors in the QSL.
Yeah.
Which was
Great league.
yeah, it wasn't much fun, to be honest with you. Not particularly.
I'm guessing
good
Mackay
side.
weren't strong at that
No,
point.
no. I think finished second bottom pretty much every year.
Did Cougars finish bottom?
Probably right above us. Yeah.
Cougars finished
Cougars, or I think Bundy were.
Yeah.
Bundy were down there.
pretty poor at that point. Yeah.
But it was like, so I played there 2 years and didn't really enjoy it, to be honest. Like good bunch of lads, but just travelling down to Brizzy every week.
Yeah.
Pretty much knowing.
Didn't like the pre-season
knowing
games out in Moranbah and stuff like that.
Moranbah.
I think we played
Emerald,
against Miners,
played out in Emerald and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was just more like
Beautiful
for
part of
me.
the world, Emerald.
For me, like football wise, probably people say a bit serious, a bit grumpy, and I didn't enjoy going down, spend all weekend away down in Brizzy, get beat, and then you're coming back, and it didn't. For me, like some of the boys didn't really care. It was more like they're away.
It's a
from
trip
me.
away.
They're away.
Yeah.
It kind of.
It's exactly what it was. It was a trip to Brisbane for the weekend.
Yeah.
Game didn't matter.
I'm a bit of a miserable
I was in
sometimes.
I was at high school at the time, so for me,
It did matter.
I sat in the hotel room after our game, but
What'd
all
you
the
do?
boys.
Are we
it
not
was-
allowed? You couldn't go out.
I was 16, so yeah.
Did you
Mini-
not have the tash?
mini
then?
bar.
Every
did
young
it.
lad back home,
Oh,
if you had a tash, the bouncers just let you straight in.
You should have
I
seen him at
stayed-
16.
Yeah.
Not much, I'm telling you. Not much of him, nah.
Still
Even less
If
than
he's
now,
a jockey now, you should have seen him at 16. I'll tell you
No,
what,
I
Huey
stayed
Bowman.
wherever we could for as long as I could, but I'd get a tap on the shoulder at one point. It's like, yeah, all right.
There's no Tinder back then. You probably got MSN.
You would have had a Nokia
I
3315.
sat there
You
and
playing
watched Premier
Snake.
League on TV, and that
You'd have
was
been
like,
playing
that was my
Snake too.
weekend. I'm
Just-
like, yeah, this is
yeah.
good.
That's what I did, mate.
Yes.
I'd have been
On the old
22.
topic.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like that's all it was. Like we might have won like 3 games. Like out of all the trips to Brisbane, one of them was against Strikers.
I do remember
Strikers,
that.
and it was
I came
massive.
and watched that game, yeah.
But like it wasn't to go and play in a state league. It was to go and have a weekend away in Brisbane
Yeah.
for the boys. Like,
Yeah, so like for me coming in as an outsider as well, like there was a fairly established group in Mackay, probably a bit like Bundy and that and Rocky, where you know the best players in town, you all knew straight away who they were.
the team picked itself.
Yeah, and I think they'd done the old 4X League or other versions of the State League before, so there was a fair few boys there that were sort of long in the tooth with it all. So.
Troy Mundy?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Barra
Mundy.
played, Mick Van Molenbroek, Brad Moss in goal. Like when he put his smokes down, he was
yeah.
yeah.
Troy Mundy, what a guy.
Yeah.
Mundy was a great
Yeah,
player.
Yeah, Mundy was a good boy. So I did that for 2 years with that, and I kind of got to a stage where I was like, I needed a op on my other ankle actually, so I was like, I think I'll just have a year off and leave it be. And then the board there came to me and said, well, if you can have a year off, we'd rather you coach.
Yeah.
So I got given the head coach job there.
How old were you then?
I was about 25, 26.
Yeah, very young
Yeah.
for a head
Yeah,
coach.
Player coach almost.
Yeah.
Deep end definitely, because like going from playing to coaching pretty much the same group of players,
Yeah.
like was a challenge sometimes because
Mates with them all.
yeah, look, like I said, I'd probably like if you get them in there, they'll probably go, he's a miserable sod. But I was mates with a fair few of them, but always kind of when I played, just because I was like new to town, still had a little bit of distance from them. But yeah, certainly when I went into coaching them, it was a bit of a challenge because I kind of knew what they did on a Saturday night afterwards and stuff. So it was kind of like they knew that I knew. And so that was took a little bit of getting used to be fair, with some of the boys.
Did it help that the expectations weren't high at all in terms of taking a job where we know we're going to lose our fair share of games, so the pressure's kind of off a little bit. Internally, you want to win every game, but you're not going to get judged on losing a lot of games because that's kind of what happens.
Because you're a country team in the state league.
Yeah, I think when you look at it like that, but from like you say, from my perspective, like I'd done that 2 years of travelling away as a player, and in my mind I was like, I'm not doing that as a coach as well. Like being away from home.
But the players are pretty set in their ways already. So it
it took like pre-season up there. Like took a little bit of changing. Just things like when I used to find when we travel away. Like if we played Sunny Coast, for example, they would stick you on the 6 a.m. Sunday morning flight out of Mackay because it was the cheapest.
As opposed to the night before.
Yeah, and then like you'd get to Kawana Shopping Centre at like 8:30, and the coach at the time was just sitting in the shopping centre for 3 hours.
You'd fly to Brisbane as well, get on a bus to the Sunny Coast? Or?
Yeah. So like you'd be up at the Sunny Coast so early, and there was nothing was open. Like there was nothing to do, and it used to drive me insane. So you kind of get to the game and you try and have a sleep. So they were the things that in my mind I was like, if I'm going to do this, like that's what we'll change. We'll come down the night before.
Straight back on the plane afterwards.
Straight back on. Like you literally like out of the change room, running for the bus to get
what?
a 7:30 flight back.
Yeah, we used to get the same thing.
And you used to like by the time you get on the field, you're dead. Like your legs are dead. So you get smashed.
It's a big day.
Yeah, and I found like the only other Sunday games we had were either Sunny Coast, so you'd fly down in the morning, bus to the Sunny Coast, or it was like Logan or something away. Or it was always like
Logan
a shit place to go and play.
And then like for me at that time, Sunny Coast were a great side. Like,
they were.
They were just
very challenging.
side,
Like, they had Tyson, they had Sean Blackman, Henners, Sammy Knight. They had a proper side. So you kind of like sitting on that bus going up to Brisbane, going, oh, what am I doing? Like you're gonna get. Like if we keep it 5 or 6, you've probably had a good day.
They won 2 or 3 years, didn't they?
They were dominant through the QSL, to be fair to them.
Pretty much all the way through till it
Them and
finished,
Strikers used to compete. It's normally them in the grand final, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. So as a coach, I kind of went there and thought, right, there's a few things logistically I'll change and try and get some of the boys out of some of their habits. The benefit of being up there, I suppose, was everybody was so close. So if you wanted to do an extra session or if you changed the schedule, it was pretty easy. There wasn't too much kickback with that. So I definitely changed the training schedule to make sure the boys trained on a Friday night. So I knew. So I went down Wilkie's and places like that. So definitely made sure I knew what they were.
Did you find being in a town, like a regional town like that, the city sort of got behind you a bit more? Like, did you get decent attendance at games?
Once you start winning games, once you start winning games, which is like pretty. I was pretty lucky up there in my first year. The club got the local paper on board as a sponsor, and they were quite keen to obviously make sure that we were successful. So they gave us some good backing sponsorship wise. So I was able to bring in a few boys brought one boy up from Brisbane, and then brought a couple of boys in from the UK from contacts there, and that definitely helped. And that was something that was always in my mind, like we talked earlier about there's a few boys in town that really were QSL level, but then there was probably 4 or 5 that were sort of making up the numbers. So in my mind, I was like, if I can shift those 4 or 5 that are making up the numbers and bring in some quality, then we'll actually be okay.
It was a hard place to go. I still have nightmares of Mackay. I think the first start I had in the QSL, I think I was 15 for the Cougars at Harrop Park. You know, the cricket field.
Ice skating on the middle.
I got booted in the mouth about 10 minutes into the game, and that's my memory of my first game in the QSL.
I'll state now that'd be Greg Wheely that probably did that too.
Corey Hooper.
Corey Hooper. Hoops was a good player.
Nothing in it, but I got booted in the mouth, and that was my first ever game, my first start. That's my memory of it.
Yeah, Hoops was a good boy.
So I still have nightmares of going to Mackay to play there.
Yeah, Harrop Park give you nightmares on that cricket pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you find that being in that catchment area, everyone wanted to play for them, or was it because you were getting hammered every week? No one really wanted to.
Or the travel put people
put people off, mostly? Especially like if you had young family. But there was kind of like before I'd arrived, there was kind of kickback from some of the local clubs.
Because they're pinching the best players.
Yeah, it was always viewed as you're stealing our players, and it was like, for me, I was, as an outsider, I never had any allegiance to a local club, so I could go to like a Lions or a Wanderers or a Brothers and say, like, I'm just here to try and provide a pathway for our kids in the region. I don't care if Lions win the Premiership in Mackay or if Wanderers do. I'm just here to try and make this side successful. And one of the things that they'd never done was they'd never really wanted to play pre-season friendlies against the local clubs. I think maybe a bit of fear.
That's a lot of regional teams do that.
Yeah, I know Rocky was like that massively.
That's the thinking behind it, because a team like that, especially like I know in Rocky and probably the same in Mackay, but it was seen as a rep team. So if you're in that team, you had to be the best of the best that was getting around, and if you lost a pre-season game to a local team, it's like
laughing stock.
Yeah, but I kind of like, I remember when I was organising the pre-season, I went to the board and said, I'll play Lions, I'll play Wanderers, I don't care. Like I knew like the quality of boys I was bringing in. I was like, I think we'll, no disrespect to those clubs, I was like, I think we'll be fine. So let's just go and play and show that we will engage.
Well, if you didn't play them, who would you play in pre-season?
No, well, like
go to Rocky.
You'd go to Rocky, you'd go up to Cairns. Sometimes you go to Townsville and Cairns would come down, and then you'd play like 2 games in 2 days.
Would that be a big cost to the club, or would it be the players that have to do that? Or
no, the club.
You're on a bus,
the cost of stuff like
you're up on
4 or 5
in the morning, whatever, going on a bus up to Mackay, play, come back.
I know that Mackay this year only had I think 3 games, because we obviously played them first game of the year, and we had a couple of I'm going to out them here. Couple of informants up there, and I said, look, can you get and watch these? And they said, mate, they're hardly they don't want to play any games. So we got enough info. We knew what formation, who they were going to try and play through, but same again, like they just didn't want to play games in case they got turned over, and it's embarrassing.
So this is Mackay with Sunday, United,
whatever
Magpies, something.
Magpies.
But you know, Magpies, I was up in Mackay, and you would know it. It's actually right opposite where Magpies play. I think it's the rugby league. Was it the rugby league? That field across the road. Like, remember rep tournaments? Because we used to go up there for rep tournaments, and there would be goals, like, for as far as you can see. There's like one set of goals up there now.
Rugby league team. That was a big thing up there as well. Like as the soccer team, which kills me. But you were always fighting against rugby league.
Oh, we were too.
People like on your board, people on the board that are like rugby league people. They just didn't really buy into.
We were discussing before on the earlier ep, like in Brisbane, like school soccer's pretty big. Like we didn't. My school didn't even have a soccer team.
It was rugby league.
It was rugby league. You played rugby league, cricket,
whatever was coming up, whatever they needed players for.
Cricket's a big thing. That's maybe why Mackay struggled when I was there as well, because you would get kids that were decent at cricket in Mackay.
Same season.
And they're going, cricket season goes till March. So we don't really do anything till March. And I'm like, but like I've been down in Brisbane. I'm going, I know these guys are starting before Christmas. We've got to start. I'm trying to get my schedule organised. I'm playing A-grade cricket. So that was a definite challenge up there, trying to just get everybody just to be a little bit more professional. Like when we were on the bus to Townsville and Rocky, there was no like plan for food or anything. It was like, well, we'll just stop at Servo. I'm watching some of the boys.
Have some Chico rolls.
So that was Chico rolls. So Australian. But that used to drive me mad, to be fair. like I said, a bit miserable. Like game day, I would always try and do the right things from what I'd been taught back home. So I didn't want to be out charging around the shops, eat my pasta,
couple of pints.
Couple of pints, yeah. But, so that used to frustrate me.
Couple of parties. End of the game.
Brad Moss with his rum and coke and his smokes. But so they were all the little things I tried to change pretty quick up there.
Yeah.
And once you start to just show the boys up there that you were on their side. I wasn't trying to stitch anyone up, just wanted them to do well.
And then it crosses over into possibly results, and then they start to think, right, well, we're actually on a good path here.
They did have a successful period though, right? At some point, they made a final. They make a final.
Were you head coach
there?
Yeah, I was going to say. You know Nelson Burgess.
Nelson Burgess, a good boy. Yeah, and his brother was all right as well, Braden.
Yeah,
Braden was good. I was just pretty lucky that I knew that the 4 boys that I brought from the UK, 2 of them were straight out of Southampton's academy. England under 19s, so I was like, these boys will make a difference for sure. And then I had 2 northern lads from, well, say Manchester, but they'll probably say like Bury and places. But they again out of academy. They both came from scholarships in the US. So I knew that their quality plus the 2 boys from Southampton plus the good local boys that were there, we'd actually be.
How'd you pitch it to those boys? They would have had no idea what they were in for. Eh?
You would have just shown them pictures of Early Beach. This is what
I did. I did sign a boy from England the year after, and I said, meet me at Hamilton Island.
Yeah.
So that went quite well. He's like, is this where you always come? I was like,
always.
This is where we train.
But no, look, the 2 boys from Southampton. The coach I played for at Eastleigh worked in the academy there, and he was like, these 2 are getting released. They don't know what they're doing. If you can offer them something, and we didn't have any money in Mackay, we never paid anybody.
I was going to ask that. What was the budget like? Was it?
No, we didn't pay anyone. The guy from the paper, he put them on the payroll at the paper. So
did he?
Well, they worked there, but mate, they didn't do much.
Throwing newspapers out the car or something.
Every time I went in there in the office playing computer games.
Delivery.
Rocky was free entry to the stadium, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, something like that.
Stads. It's free entry to the Stads.
You
could go upstairs. Yeah. That's what
State Cup or whatever it was.
You rock up, free entry, upstairs you go. That's your payment.
Yeah.
So you just didn't have a budget and you made the final?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's massive,
Yeah, so the 2 boys from Southampton, they worked at the paper, and then the 2 northern boys, one of them worked at the paper he was actually quite smart, to be fair. He worked...
Northern smart or smart?
Northern smart, yeah. But he was good. He did a bit of journalism for the paper, and then the other lad worked for a local mechanic, just driving stuff around. But those 2 boys, a funny story with them, they Clarkey, when he came, he'd sent an email to the club saying, I'm interested to come to Australia. And when I took over, I got the email account, like the head coach at Mackay. It was like 1,500 emails. So I was like, oh my God. So I was like, I'll just work through
CVs and stuff.
How many were just
all
Football Queensland memos and stuff. Anyway, I was halfway through one night, and I see his CV, and I always made sure I read it. I clicked on it, and he played for Great Britain Unis.
Oh yeah.
And my best mate from home was the captain of that side.
Yeah.
So I rang my mate and I said, do you know this lad? He's like, he's a cracker. He's like, loves a beer. But he's like, if you can get him playing, he can fucking play. Like, he's a brilliant little midfielder. Like, great number 10. He's decent. So I rang him, and he was sat in the States going, oh yeah, I sent that email like 2 months ago, mate.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, let's make something happen. Like, because you know Gaz, I know Gaz. Like, he's saying you can play. Like, I need players. So he arrived, he come over, and then within about the first week, he's like, if you need a left winger, I've got a mate. You know how football works. The boys start telling you who's decent. And he said, I'll get Hughesy over. So I've got to say it because I told Hughesy I would, but he come over. He flew to Perth. I don't know why he went to Perth, and then so I'm saying to him like,
Gaff on me up.
Where are you? I'll walk down and meet you.
Yeah, just drive down the road.
I'm in a suburb called Perth. Where's that in Mackay?
I'll be there in 12 days, mate.
Yeah, spud. So I said to him, look, we'll get you across. We'll get your flight across. Yeah. So I booked him a flight.
Ring the paper again.
Pretty much.
You need $1,500 to get him across here.
Books him a flight, and it was like a night flight. So I've gone to sleep. Anyway, I woke up the next morning, and Clarkey at the time was stopping with me till he went into his place. And I got a note under the bedroom door. So I woke up, it says, Hughesy's not got on his flight. So fuck. What's he done? So I get Clarkey out of bed, and I'm like, what's happened? So he got to the airport, and he had too much luggage. Like, it weighed too much. So he didn't get on the flight. So I was like, well, why didn't he just
Take-
why didn't he just pay or just
Yeah.
like this all shit in it? Like, why didn't he just chuck some of it away?
Yeah.
He's like, nah, he's gone back. So I was like, oh. So I ring. No. So he's gone back to his place.
Oh, I thought he's
not back.
gone
No, not back to that.
Fucking, I'll go back.
So he's gone back, and so I ring him. I said, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I just panicked. I didn't know." So anyway,
Fucking, that's
so
a
I
big
get
panic.
him over eventually.
What's he had in that luggage?
Boogie board bag, I
Yeah,
think.
well,
Yeah.
you've got given to the president, eh? Like,
Oh,
so he eventually come over, and he arrived a bit late into pre-season. And the first game, I think we actually played Rocky, and I brought him off the bench. And Clarkey had been in my ear going, like, this boy's a serious player. Like, you just got to get him fit, but he can play. I brought him off the bench, and literally his first touch, he's chested it, and it's bounced like 3 meters away. A terrible first touch. So he stretches for his next one, and he plays the perfect through ball to split our back four.
Yeah.
And then Rocky boy just runs in and slots it top bins. I'm like, what have you done to me? Like this.
Back to Perth, go on.
Yeah, I was like, what have you done to me? So I've come off. Clarkey's like looked at me, just got head down. I says to him, "Are you joking? Like this?" Like, because he'd only been there like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Are you joking me with this lad?" He's like, "No, trust me, he can play. Like, he's class." I was like, "He's just played the best through ball I've ever seen, but for them." And then after that, like once he got fit, he was
Other
he
side
was
of
a
the
class
equator,
player.
mate. He just didn't know what.
He didn't know what he is. Still, I was
Yeah.
like, damn, isn't he? But
Still in
yeah, so like those 4 boys from the UK, they were
Made a massive difference.
massive. Yeah, like Clarkey won Player of the Year.
Yeah.
What
For
was the
league that
visa
year.
situation for those teams back in the day? How many could you have?
No, it was unlimited.
Whatever you wanted.
Oh,
Unlimited. Yeah.
Fucking
We
hell.
were lucky because I think at one point we had probably 6 or 7 from the UK.
Really?
The Cougars, yeah.
Yeah.
And we were still getting spanked every week, so.
It was one of them,
Yeah,
like, 'cause
it's
you
a-
could bring them up as well and do their country service.
Yeah.
So they get a 2nd year visa and
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So there was kind of little ways round
Yeah.
getting them up, which for me, like, the quality of players in the town, you kind of, with no disrespect, but like if you wanted to compete,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then you kind of needed some fresh
Yeah.
blood.
But it helps them as players as well, the younger lads, like to hear that they've
100%.
been where they've been and
100%.
the
Yeah.
teams they've played for, they'd be buzzing as well, you know?
Like Corey Hooper, for example, you mentioned him earlier. Like he just went from strength to strength, from a young boy to playing with these sort of experienced lads out of academies. He came on massively. Like he came down to Brisbane and played and did well. Like yeah, Nelson was the same.
What was their
Yeah.
experience when they rocked that when you're showing around Mackay?
Well, yeah.
Mackay's only got like 1 street, hasn't it?
Mackay's very similar to Rocky,
It's
isn't
not-
it? Like
it's
it's
To that extent.
nah, it's not.
No,
yeah, it's,
well,
not,
we had a night out. We played them last year, and we went for a night out.
it's probably one. Not,
To
there's
the
probably
one-
one street of nightclubs.
There's one
Yeah,
show
but-
night.
yeah,
Yeah,
That's the same.
it is a
That's what we
small.
were
It's a
for.
small country town. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't go clubbing. I went to the bar on the corner, and then the lads
Disclaimer.
went
The
to
bar on the
nightclub.
corner isn't that the strip club?
Well, there was no strippers in there.
Oh,
but
wait.
pool table and a couple
Pool
of
table.
bars.
Yeah, that's
You
just
probably got your kid off at some point. So
Sure, wouldn't get this rig out, mate. Not without a bit of work.
Nah, they're good. They're good. They'd be good fun for those English boys,
Yeah.
like those sort of
was
little
good 'cause,
country
like, they're
towns,
all
and they're
together, you
all
know, like-
together. Yeah.
I mean that's what when I eventually came to Brisbane to coach, I struggled with that because everyone lives
So
all
far
over the
away,
place
yeah.
and come in. But Mackay, it was
Yeah.
like Sunday morning. We would always do a recovery session at the lagoon,
Yeah.
and everyone would come. Like they're struggling, like,
Yeah.
but they would.
nothing
they
else
get
to
there.
do.
They'll
So.
come.
Yeah. Whereas like trying to do that in Brisbane, where you go
Yeah.
Sunday morning recovery, the boys would be like, no.
That could be the advantage of having like a regional team where if everyone's on board
Yep.
and everyone backs a team and
Yep.
all the best talent go there,
Yep.
have a good setup,
Yep.
you can go
You
a
can
long
do
way.
well, yeah.
Cairns,
They could be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cairns
yeah.
got the buy-in.
It just.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did.
They got
They
the
did.
buy-in.
Yeah, like we definitely got that. Like that first year, we got to I think we finished 3rd or 4th, and we got to the finals, and then got beat by Sunny Coast. Surprise. But then, like the next pre-season was so easy because everybody was really,
Yeah,
ready
really
to go.
bought in.
And
there.
as you said, like the community get behind
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
which is massive too,
Yeah.
like for funding and
Yeah, like we even got
sponsors.
shifted into that Virgin Australia Stadium. I think it's
Oh, yeah.
renamed now, like Print Stadium or something.
Yeah.
But halfway through that season,
Really?
they put us
Yeah.
in there, which again was massive.
Yeah.
Like,
Buzzing.
yeah. And then that second year, we got to the grand final, lost to Sunny Coast on penalties. But Sunny Coast again.
Again.
But yeah, but look, like I know a few of their boys now, and they were great side. To be fair,
Yeah, they were.
really-
Yeah.
Like you're knocking out like good teams like Strikers. I think
Yeah.
Redlands was still in it.
Yeah, we
then,
beat
and,
Strikers. We came down and beat Strikers
Yeah.
2-0 in the semi. So yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did well up there.
Mm.
But then we got a bit stitched up by Football Queensland.
Yeah,
with
of
the
course.
when the NPL came in, and there
Yeah.
was the licensing, and you had to apply and all this nonsense. You got given a criteria, and no one really followed the criteria.
Yeah.
It was already sort of pre-decided, and we got to a stage as a club where we sort of looked at it and went, financially don't think it's, because you're obviously reliant on sponsors up there.
Yeah.
We were looking at that going, we think you probably need close to $500,000 just to keep things ticking. And
It's crazy.
for me as head coach, I was saying to the board up there, like a couple of families that were really influential, saying I just don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
I don't think like you should be shelling out that sort of money for it. So there was a bit of drama up there with Football Queensland and the zone at the time, which is normal for country towns. So we just got to a stage where we said don't do it.
Yeah.
How does the rugby league team up there go about it then? Like, obviously they have good funding because obviously it's massive, but
the sponsors, the cutters, like the sponsors really get behind them.
And as I say, it's a rugby league town, so it's not hard.
I think,
and they've got their deal with the Cowboys.
Yeah,
so
that's a big thing that I think soccer could probably, well, football could learn from is that sort of, if you're a fringe player. I mean, it's a lot different with the A-League because they don't play in the same seasons, but the massive thing with the Cutters, if they've got a fringe player, like the year that they won it, Michael Morgan was playing for them, like guys that are NRL quality are playing for these teams, so like the fans are going out to watch these good up and young, like coming sort of superstars. Soccer doesn't have that, which is like, you can't have, there's no buy-in by the local communities.
Could you imagine the kickback from, or for a local coach who has to drop a player because he's got someone coming back from an A-League team,
and you're told you got to play them.
It's just it's not worth it for that coach.
Like for rugby league, like when I was up there, Anthony Seabold, who's Broncos now, he was the coach of the Colours at the time, and he would basically get a phone call Thursday afternoon saying, these are the guys that are coming down,
and they have to start.
It's brutal, and they have to start.
Effectively, you got to start them.
But the reality was that the guys dropping down are probably better than what he's got. He hasn't worked. Like they would come in for the Friday session, but he hasn't really worked with them throughout the week. But I think like the communication between Cowboys and Cutters was great. So I think he could probably guess each week who.
Yeah, he knew which.
But then you get
which is a massive like, and as you said, like if football could do something like that, where you know there's boys in the A-League, like in the Raw, that aren't getting a game, where you could go, come and have a couple of games for us to keep you ticking over, like because the NYL season's pointless, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's one thing that me personally, like, it might be a bit not very popular, but I don't really see the benefit of having a raw youth in the NPL.
No.
I'd prefer to see those best talented kids sort of divvied up between the other NPL sides and sort of get them in a different environment that way, and having them perform with other teams, sort of thing. Like, I think that would be a lot more beneficial. Then go back to the raw for your NYL season or whatever, but I don't know, it's just...
I think the NYL season, I know it's a finance thing, but you've got to get more games out of where they play the other academies more. I know flying interstates is the real reason, but I love Mooney to bits, seeing what he's done a good job.
He's done a great job.
Done a good job, but like, like in their 20s and their 18s and below, they should have the majority of the best players in those age groups. Maybe one or two slip through, clubs maybe don't help, etc. But the reality is now that if you look at their results, they're smashing everybody. I don't think that's benefit to the players or to the club. Like, don't get me wrong, I know you're trying to build the brand. Like,
the only real thing is that they have them together playing the way they want them to play. That's about it.
But I feel like you could get that if you had that. Like, isn't that what the NYL's for? Like, have the NYL from whatever they've got, the academy sides, like say 11s to 20s, have that extended season, play with the A-League, and then have them go to their local clubs.
In the off-season.
Because it's the cost, though.
It is the cost, but like you see the benefit of it also with the women's. Like we were just talking about it, like a W League player can be down playing at Capalaba. And like, I
think maybe if there's that option. Like
there's an option.
You should have the team in the league, but if they're not getting in that side, you could go. But I think the important thing there is that for the Raw, they've got to be able to trust who the kids are going to. Like they've got to have a coach that is on a similar wavelength to them, and don't go and play a completely different style brand of football. There's lots of challenges. Tough job.
It's a very tough job. There's smarter people than us are bloody doing it.
But a local coach saying there's not that many that would cop being told this player's coming to you and he has to play every week. It's like, well, if he deserves to play, he'll play.
I think you got to look at the bigger picture too. Like, obviously, it's working for the league. Like, it's working for bigger.
No, cricket, it happens in cricket, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Drop down and play club cricket or whatever cricket.
Imagine going to watch Chris Lynn play for like Toombul.
But that's kind of it's a team sport, but it's very individual. You go out there, you're not going to bat specifically the way that team plays. Like, you're going to get
every
runs.
ball as it comes out.
Do you know what I mean? And you play the situation. You need runs, you got to go and get runs. But football, like, we were talking, I think earlier when we were talking about that with Croyd's, we were talking about, say, my Holland Park team, we played in a shit pitch and we went 4-4-2 because we couldn't pass the ball, so we just put ball over the top, squeezed in. They're all not going to send anyone to play Holland Park.
Exactly. That is
and
true.
then Holland
That
Park
is
can
true.
turn around and say, well, hell,
Yeah.
all these other teams are
send
getting
them
balls
to-
coming down. We're not getting anything
Yeah,
because
yeah,
our pitch is shit.
Yeah, that's the other side of it.
So,
too. There's a lot more
I get
tactics
there's
and
loads
stuff
to
like
it.
that.
Egos,
There's a
egos
lot
in
to
there
it.
as well.
Yeah.
That's the
it's a
thing.
tough one.
It's ego, man.
Yeah. That for me, like, you can talk about it later if you want, but for me, the purpose of the NPL was to get those young boys now that are at the Raw, the 20-year-olds, the 19-year-olds, was to get them playing men's football, like senior football, as quick as they could. Because you hear FFA always say now there's that gap between 18 and 23 in the A-League, because no one's... That to me was what the NPL was for.
Yeah.
But it's kind of drifted from that
Hasn't done
because
it.
Football Queensland don't govern it, in my opinion, and none of the state federations govern it as per what the criteria was.
Yeah.
If you could get that where you go back to the NPL being an opportunity for those 18s, 23s, and you could get some of the clubs to park some of their egos and what they want and just go, actually, this league's for the betterment of the national team, then I think you would get some traction. But the way for me, like the way it's been managed and governed, we've gone down the road of making it a state league again, where it's
try and win.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like as you said, like as a coach, you want to win it 100%. If you go in that league, but just to me, like the wider purpose of why the FFA brought the NPL in, I just think it's good.
And if they
that's countrywide. I
And
think
if they
it's been
stuck
lost.
at that model for like say 3 to 5 years or something, then you'd see a big shift in the quality of players
Also,
coming through.
you've got local clubs who are disengaged with the rule.
Yep.
So
Yep.
they're never going to really buy into it.
I think that's
unfortunately.
It's a fair
the
call.
one thing I think Mooney will start to change.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah,
Because
100%,
he's kind of
100%.
got
Which
buy-in
has to
with
happen.
Yeah, 100%.
people like Mooney.
Yeah,
and it
100%.
makes a big difference. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it was a good appointment in
Definitely.
that
For
sense,
many
especially.
reasons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like he's earned that opportunity. But
Yeah.
like if Mooney picks the phone up to me and says, "Can you help me here?"
Yeah.
Like you're probably going, "Well, it's Mooney.
Yeah.
I'll help you."
Yeah.
Like whereas if it's someone from
Someone
the
else.
Raw ringing you, you're
Yeah.
going, "Oh, yeah,
What's-
okay. What do you want?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas when Mooney rings you, you go, "I know he's trying to push the program into the right direction.
He's got the betterment
He's got
of
a challenge."
sport sort of.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
does,
yeah,
actually,
yeah, 100%.
So after Mackay, down to strikers.
Yeah, came down and was assistant coach at Strikers, which was that was
Was Largy in charge there?
yeah, Largy was in charge. It was certainly an eye opener in terms of being in Brisbane as a coach. Like I said, all the boys they would come into training and then they would disappear. I came into that Strikers change room with some big names in there, like Shea was in there, Turtle was in there, Kingy was in there doing well at the time, Robbo was in there. Like, and they'd won I have to get this right, don't they? They won the league.
Yeah.
Was it champion? No, not champions.
You're
Premier.
going to tell us they lost the final?
They lost the
Grand final.
they lost to Sunny Coast in the
1-0.
final. 1-0. That's
Yeah,
right.
I was at that game actually.
That's right.
Me mate was playing up front for Fire. Bacon was up top with Blackman. They had a 4-4-2 and he was up top.
It's the year after I came down because Mackay had knocked them out of the semi-final, but they'd won the league.
Yeah.
And we knocked them out, beat them 2-0.
Standard final series.
Yeah. So again, like Strikers had done really well that year, and like, we beat them up there, but we beat them in the semis.
Yeah.
So I came down, and I always remember, without killing Largy, bless him, he first training session he introduced me to the boys, and he said, "Oh, you must remember him. He's the tosser that knocked you out last year." So straight away I was like, cheers. So I'm kind of like looking at the boys, but trying not to look at them, going, well, what do I say to that? But there were some real big names, big players in there. And to be honest, like I struggled as a coach, like because the way it was set up was I was delivering all the sessions, which is what I loved.
Yeah.
But then Largy was like over the top picking the side.
Yeah.
And the boys, they're smart. They worked that out.
Yeah.
So you started to get some training sessions where it wasn't really going how I had it on my paper. And then decisions were being made about who was playing, and the boys are coming to me going, I've trained all week, like what's going on there?
Yeah.
So it was a tough situation. I look back at it now and go, it was great for me as a coach because I was definitely in at the deep end.
Yeah.
But at the time I was like, this is chaos. Like there's decisions being made about like players that maybe as a coach I wasn't agreeing with, but you kind of just had to sit there and go, right, and then trying to look the players in the eyes during training, going, can you do this for me? And they're going, am I doing it for you or am I doing it for...
So it wasn't,
Largy?
because I know that Phil was obviously head coach and I'm assistant, but it kind of works well between the two of us, the team gets picked. Between the two of us, we'll discuss things. If it falls 50-50, then we go with what Phil thinks. So from what you're saying there,
like Largy would always ask me,
yeah,
definitely ask my opinion, and then as any head coach should, he goes and makes his own mind up.
Yeah,
it was more the fact for me that I was like on the park, Tuesday night, Thursday night, doing the session. Largy might be there watching. Well, he was always there watching, but he wasn't like actively in the session. Yeah, and that happened more as time went on.
Did you find though, like that he would be happy to have those conversations?
Yeah, he was good.
Like it didn't just like toss you out to cop it on the chin.
He definitely. Like, I love Largy to bits. I'll say that now before I go. Like, Largy gave me a chance in Brisbane that I don't think anyone else would have. I personally didn't really agree with like his man management style. But the great thing with Largy was he would tell you straight that that's how he was going to do it. Yeah. So there was no like, oh fuck, what's he done there? You knew what he was going to do, but you kind of like going, oh shit, wouldn't do it that way. So like he had some problems with certain players where he was like, you can leave.
Robbo too slow.
Anyway,
I've heard all about it.
Yeah, it was just and like Robbo. Obviously support. My job is to support the head coach, and so you're there, but you're kind of going, if I was doing it, I don't think I'd do it that way. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like at the time, I was kind of like, what am I doing? Like I was a bit lost, to be honest. But now I look back and go, well, he gave me such a good opportunity that I'd never have. I'd like to work with Shay and Turtle and people like that. Coming down from Mackay, nobody would have given me a chance like that. So massively grateful for that. But in that moment, I struggled as a coach hugely, and that's I did the year there, and then I went back to the UK for 18 months. I went and worked at Loughborough Uni, or at Loughborough College and Loughborough Uni. I helped Stu McLaren with the football program there.
So that's where Stu's at.
Yeah. So Stu gave me an opportunity to go in and work with him in the program, which was brilliant. Obviously, from the UK, Loughborough's the number one sport uni. So again, to get an opportunity like that, and I really probably got that opportunity because of my connections at the Strikers. So to go and work for Stu there was great because some of the boys he had in that program, Loughborough Uni basically targeted ex-scholars. Like when they got to 18 and they got released, they brought them into the program, and that was a full-time football program. So that was some really good boys. Stu's great in terms of how he'd set it up, gave the boys opportunities to play against like Man United, Tottenham. Like I remember Rashford come down and played against us. Like obviously didn't know who he was at the time, but just those opportunities for 18, 19-year-old boys was phenomenal. So the football program there was set up really good. So I went there and I did 18 months there. I did my masters in coaching there as well, which was another. I kind of got thrown on the table when I was in there. They were like, like you've done your sports science degree. Like if you want to do a masters, like and the head of the program there, better call him Professor now, Cushion. Like he's like just the way he thinks about football, the way he thinks about learning and stuff is just a different planet. So to have 18 months there learning from Stewie on sort of the technical side, and then Chris from like learning and how players think, how coaches work, was just changed. No coaching badge has ever given me that. Sitting on a coaching course doesn't give you that. So I had 18 months there, and I worked at the academies in Rotherham and Notts County at the time. And my day job was actually to do the education for the scholars at Leicester and Derby. So again, I was kind of just like totally immersed for 18 months in football, which is why I went home. That's because, like you guys hear, football's probably not number one.
So how's the week been, boys? Up to much?
Staying indoors.
Staying indoors, are you?
Keeping isolated.
Keeping that isolation.
Just trying to sell a house, mate, and it's a bad time.
Yeah, nightmare.
Mr. Cell team, maybe.
No, it's not.
Josh and Jake and the boys.
It's not. But I'm beginning to wish I had gone with Mr. Cell team.
Probably
to be honest. Yeah, I know they're backed by the fastest growing real estate brand in the country, and the marketing.
Freedom Property Group, I believe.
You know a bit about real estate, don't you, Doz?
I know a little bit about it, I probably would have gone with Mr. Cell team if I was you, but...
Well, the thing is as well with them, I'm kicking myself now because I know that the attention to detail is 100% spot on. They'll go above and beyond to get a result for you. If you've got a property and you want a tenant, they can probably tell you get one. Did you know that?
Lease, they'll sell, they'll find you something to buy.
Yeah.
Really?
That's what I've heard.
They pretty much do everything, mate.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know all that. Now it's too late. I've gone with someone else.
How was that experience?
I don't think it was as good as if I'd went with Stint. If I'm being
I'm
honest.
sure Joshy and Jake and the boys will get you sorted.
They'll be waiting in the wings in case that one.
So look, I think what I would say is, if anyone is in the market, looking to sell, looking to buy, looking to rent, hit up the Mr. Sell team. Josh Sherwood, Jake Sherwood, any of the boys, and I'm sure they'll help.
So I just got that full on like 24/7 football, going in your day jobs football, your night jobs football.
Yeah,
it was like I learnt more in that 18 months than I probably have.
Yeah,
like I said, off any coaching course or anything here, to be honest. Got the opportunity to work with some like really good players, some superstars. You know, like the Leicester boys at the moment are in the first team. There's Benny Chilwell, Hamza, Harvey Barnes. I was teaching them, trying to teach them. They weren't really bothered, bless them. Like they kind of knew that. Like Benny was playing for England every other week. Like you kind of knew they were superstars. But they were good lads. Like it was enjoyable going in, trying to get Hamza to do something. So but he used to give me boots, so I was happy with that. But so 18 months there was amazing. Like didn't really want to leave, but Mrs. at the time, she got pregnant. Don't know by me, but just throw that one in. So we decided to come back to Oz for family reasons.
Is that when you took over Pride?
Yeah. So just in that time when we found out she was expecting, I just sort of started to make contact with people here and spoke to Dozzi.
Just to go for a piss?
I'm gonna have to excuse myself for a couple of minutes here. Sorry.
Can't do it in a bottle.
Go on then.
There's a few empty bottles you can
Who's in there?
Should we clap?
So Pride, obviously, it ended with success.
Yep.
Ultimately.
Yep.
What did you, when you went in there? Because Pride were never a team that anyone looked at and thought they're a chance to do this, that, the other.
Yep.
So you obviously went in. Did you change many things, or did you? How did it work?
Look, when I went in, the vision, like Dozzi had a vision for playing all the kids, and that's kind of what attracted me to come back for that job. So there was kind of like this blueprint, but there was no like resource. There was no understanding of how to make it happen. Like, because obviously Dozzi moved on to, I think he went to the Raw or to Newcastle.
Yeah, I think
can't
he went
remember
to
which
Raw
way
at that
around.
point.
Raw, yeah. So he'd kind of left this plan, but nobody knew what to do. Like there was this high performance review document. Yeah. And he said to me, just read that and that like you do what you want to do with it. Yeah. It will set you up. So when I went into the club, I was like, where's this high performance review? And they're like, what? High performance review? They're like, isn't that something Dozzi did? And I was like, yeah, have you got it? And they're like, nah, I don't know where that is. So I go back to Dozzi and go, give me that document, mate, because they can't find it. Yeah. But the people at the club were really supportive. Yeah. Like when I came in, they were like, well, what do you need us to do? Yeah. Which was great. You weren't coming into an environment where they're like, who's this guy? Like, what's he all about? They were just like, just get on with it, basically. Yeah. So kind of took over a couple of games in the season, left. So I just left everything how it was and just sort of watched and observed. And again, like that's where my masters really helped me because we spent so much time reading the research about how coaches operate. Yeah. I was kind of like, I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to spend, I think it was 7 games. I was like, I'm just going to have these 7 games. I'm just going to watch everybody. Yeah. Like how they play, how they interact, their commitment to training, etc. And I'll go from there. And then, changed. Like I always change the training nights. Like for me, I don't want the boys training on a Monday night. Yeah. Because they always say it's a recovery, and I think that becomes a don't do anything session. Yeah. Like, so I always try to change training so that you do Tuesday, Thursday, Friday if you're playing on a Saturday. So I changed that. So again, just little bits. Made sure that the boys on the Friday night would have dinner at the club, so they stayed later. Like they thought they were getting food, but for me it was like you're staying another hour later, so you're not down the valley. Yeah, so I know where you're at. So by the time you get home, I know it should be 10:30. So if you are going out, you got to go quick. Yeah, like,
it's a long way from Ipswich to the valley.
Yeah, exactly. And like there was a good core group of young lads there that Dozzi had managed to swindle from the Raw. Yeah, and he'd nailed them down with their salaries, like unbelievable. Like they were getting $50 a week. Yeah, and like
that's big money.
Dozzi loves that stuff. Well, for like they were coming out of the Raw. Yeah, so $50 a week. It's good. And all Dozzi had done, he'd got. I think there was Bon Scott, Hayden, McHenry, Jesse Rigby, AJ, maybe Harry Sawyer, he wasn't at the Royal, but he basically got them all in a room and said, right, how much do you want? And Bond's confident boy like he is, he says, we all want $50 a week. Dodgy's like, done. Contract's done. So they were like, so they're going away going, great. Dodgy's like, my budget, brilliant.
Yeah.
I'll save a lot of that. But that, again, that set me up. So then when I'm going back in like years 1, 2, 3 for me, renegotiating, I'm going, wow, you're on massive, exactly. I'm like, you're on massive money already, boys, like $50 a week. So they're going, well, we don't want to take the piss, but can we go 75? I'm like, no problem, like, I'll sign it there.
Oh, it's tough, but we'll stretch it.
Like, I've got Hayden McKinney, he'll kill me, but he, in the second year I was there, before Christmas, I'd give it right, I want you to re-sign, here's your contract. And my approach with that is like, you've got to be happy with your contract. Like, there's no point me taking the piss too much that you know of. Yeah. So I put the contract in front and said, here's what I'm offering you. And he says, that's fine. I think it was only like 100, 150 a week. And he signs it. Jesse Rigby comes in, signs it, and they're all the same. Duckworth was the same. Yeah. Anyway, they go off for Christmas, and about 2 days after he signed it, Hayden rings and he says, Jesus, you know you always say about I've got to be happy with my contract. I said, yeah. He says, I'm just having some doubts. So I was like, oh shit, here we go. Like, where's he going? And he says, no, I don't want to go anywhere. I just think I want a bit more money. It's like he's like 18 at the time, so he's getting brave, isn't he? So I'm like, I was like, well, come and talk to me. Like, come in and we'll have a chat. So he comes in and he's got his original copy of his contract. He says, right. So I'm like, what do you want? Go on, just tell me straight. Like, don't mess about. Let's just get this done. He says, I think I want 150 a week. I said, yeah, all right, done. So get him a new contract, signs it. I'm like, happy? Shakes hands. Yeah, brilliant. And he's happy as Larry. I said, you realise that's exactly the same as what you signed before Christmas? And he looks, he gets up and he's like, I was like, that's done. And he's like, you won't tell anyone, will you? I was like, no, I'll never tell anyone. I'll tell everybody I see. So every end of season awards night, like, Hayden, just going through the contract, mate. He's like, but so they were like a good group of young lads. Like, they were.
He just got straight to the valley.
Big pay rise.
Extra 50. It wasn't even.
I just can't imagine what he's thinking driving in. Got to get it up. Got to get more money.
Rehearsing the speech in the mirror all morning. Just 150.
Probably like spoke to his old man. Probably spoke to a few other people. What do you think I can go for? Like, probably rung the other boys.
Old man probably looked at it and gone, go for 150.
It is a bit of a hectic situation when you're younger, but when you go and have that chat.
Like the first couple of contracts.
I can't remember ever asking for. I just sign what I got to saw. We're going to give you £30 a week.
You get paid what they think you're worth.
Yeah, exactly.
But so like I was just fortunate that Dozzi had those boys, and they had a good footballing education for like Queensland. Coming out of the QES and that raw system, so they were technically very good, very committed, which was what I wanted there. And just as I had that first season with them where I think we only won 6 games and drew 6, but you could just start to see that you were getting like a spine of a side, and you like then going, there's 1 or 2 that I know I need to change. Like Bond left us and went to City, so we got a different keeper and got Maxine who did really well, and kind of just used the boys as kind of like my sounding board, going, who's around, like young boys. Like I had a particular mantra that I didn't want older players, so we had a couple of older boys in there, and they were good footballers, but with what I wanted to do with the club, I kind of got to a stage where they went, which saved us budget as well, which was pretty important. So I kind of had this mantra where I was like, I don't want anyone over 23, because you can pay them less as well, which kind of helps. But I wanted it to be like, Dodzi had always said to me, like, it's a long term, it's a 5-year project, and I kind of wanted to make sure that we stuck with those younger boys. Like, so Jesse Rigby was captain at 16. And
how old is he now? Do you know?
Yeah, Jesse's only like 21.
Is he?
But, Rocky boy as well.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a Rocky boy.
Is he?
What did he play? His old man.
Yeah, guy.
Played Frenchie.
Good player. Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, Jess can play. Jess is a good boy. Again, that like the big thing for me was I just wanted the boys to buy in and have that commitment to do your 3 sessions.
Yeah.
Like, just come in, work hard, and I'll do my best to give you opportunity to be a better player. And we did that with some games. Like, we played the New Zealand national team, which was massive for the region, but for the boys as well. Like 17, 18, and they're playing, all whites and stuff, like Rory Fallon. Like, that was
Chris Wood was there.
No, Wood didn't play in that game. Like, he came out to Australia the week after. but still, like there was.
So I played Redlands too, I think, didn't they?
Correct.
So,
Correct. Yeah. But yeah, so those opportunities, and managed to get that word of mouth through the boys, where some other, like Geordie Lambie came back from the Raw to us.
Did they live out there, the majority of those boys, or?
No, like Rigby and Hayden are still where they are now. Like
150 if you're going in friggin' field.
Tolls.
Yeah.
And then I picked up 2 boys from the Gold Coast with Will McFarlane, Al's son, and Adam Endine, and they were coming up from the coast. And again, like they were on buttons. They were on nothing, like can of Coke, pack of crisps, and they were committed. They did their 3 nights. Just started to get that like real buy-in in that first season. The boys could see that they could start to cope. Like I said, we didn't win many games, but there was just little signs in games, like against Strikers, where you're starting to compete for like 60, 70 minutes, and then you had like a disaster 20 minutes where you can see 3. And I used to get, like you go up in the bar after the game, and people would be like, "Oh, you just need some experience in your side." And I was like, how about we just give these boys time to get the experience? And I used to just say, like, let's get them all to 50 games, then we can judge them. Like, and I was pretty robust in defending them. Like, especially like Jess, like 6. He copped a lot of sort of discussion from people going, "Oh, he's captain 16."
You made him captain at 16?
No, Dozzi made him captain, and like I said, I just spent that first 7 games just watching, going, and I liked what I saw. Like, he was a leader on the pitch. Like, his performance level was decent compared to everybody else. So I was like, we'll stick with that, and we just had that first season where we didn't really do too much, and then we had a really good pre-season. We went camping, which I fucking hate camping. Like, stay in a hotel, like it's got everything you need. Like, camping, like you're in the dirt, and it stormed. Like, it was a massive thunderstorm. So I've got boys like, it was like we took the under-20s with us. So we had like 40, 50 players, and there's this massive thunderstorm. I've got like couple of the under-20s out trying to take their tents down and stuff, and I'm like, just come inside. I can't have one of you get struck by lightning. But that whole like,
whereabouts you go?
We went somewhere in Ipswich. Fuck no, mate.
Just on the field.
Just camped to bring some serve.
It's pretty like horrendous. But we just did like a team building thing, some basic.
Which goes a long way, but I reckon.
Massive, and that I think the thing for me there was the players saw the coaching staff, a bit like your teachers at school. They saw the coaching staff in a different light. And had some really good coaches in the program at the time. And like we sat up that night before it stormed, we were just having a beer with everybody, and stories coming out, which I probably won't repeat because some of them Hayden will definitely get in trouble.
Please we've got a section for that at the end.
But just like the boys seeing you, like you might be the head coach, but the stuff that they're going through, you've kind of done it yourself.
Friend first, boss second.
So that pre-season was magic, and then I think we played Strikers really early on. Might even have been the first game, and we drew 2-2 with them, and that then like the boys suddenly like went, we could do it, because I obviously coming from the Strikers, it was a big game for me, and I used to always say like Strikers are a great club, the best setup in Queensland, but I'm not sure they're as good as at the moment. Like in that year, I was like, I'm not sure they're as good as they think they are, without being disrespectful. And I kind of followed what they were doing in pre-season. I was like, I'm not sure they've had a proper pre-season. So that first couple of games, I was like, I think there's one we could target there. And obviously for myself, I wanted to do a good job there. And that first game against Strikers, I think just made everybody go, in the group, like we can do all right here. And by then, Dill Wenzel Halls was on board, which helped because he scored a few goals, and Harry started. Cristani came in the middle of the of that year. Once the NYL finished, he came across. But again, like for me, that when I knew he was going out of the Raw, I'd rung him and said like, when you finish up at the Raw, we'd love to have you. But I never really pushed players. Like I more let like the boys do it and say, you just tell them what we're doing, like, and it's up to them. Because I never really didn't have a lot of money. Like the year we won it, I think our budget was 45 grand for the year. So I knew, I knew I wasn't going to be able to ring players and go, I'll give you X amount of dollars. It was more me relying on the boys to spread the word for me, which they did, which was.
Were they all friends? Well, because if they've come through at the same time, a lot of
like Gabby Haywash, Hayden, Jess, they'd all come through that system, so they were mates. And then they were all the same age. Like, so
they seem pretty close knit.
they're close now.
Yeah,
They're close now.
We've got a few of them at our club.
Yeah.
They're all
Bernie.
mates with each other, and
They all go out.
Yeah.
I think because they were the same age, they're into the same things.
Yeah.
They would go out, like when they got old enough. I can remember all them like 18th birthdays and stuff. They'll go out. Yeah, got missing training for 18th. I'm like, lucky boys. Like they just clicked in that sort of middle part of that second season, and then we just went on that.
You just went on that run, didn't you?
I think we won 12, 13 in a row.
Yeah.
And like my job as a coach, I was kind of like sitting back more and more, going, you can
Just let them go.
Like, like there was a couple of times at half time I just walked in, looked at them and said, what do you reckon, boys? And they were like, it's like 5-0, like Sunny Coast.
Yeah.
We were like 10-0 up at half time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I said to them, I ain't got nothing to say to you, boy. Like, I'm not going to stand there giving you tactics or any rubbish like that. You 10-0 up, just go and enjoy it. Like, so I kind of, as a coach, it was nice. I could sort of sit back more and more, go, and the boys understand what we're trying to do, systems and how to play, and they just sort of ran it themselves, really. Like,
Who did you bump in the final? Was it Morton Bay?
Yeah.
Was that when I won it? Free kick?
Yeah, Dill scored his free
That
kick.
was, I remember watching that.
It was funny because
Pit went mad.
to be fair, I'd probably say that was the poorest we'd played in that run where we'd won everything. It was the poorest we'd played. Like Morton Bay did quite well against us. We'd played them a couple of weeks before, and we beat them 5-0. And when we'd done we'd gone and watched them and had all the reports and everything, and we were like, if they turn up at 3 at the back against us, like, we had Dill up front. I think Sawyer was still there at the time before he went. We were like, if they do that, and Joey Duckworth through the midfield, we're like, if they play 3 at the back, you'll be 3-on-3 all game. Like, you'll kill them. And all week I'd been saying to the boys, if they come 3 at the back, it's football suicide. Like, surely they're looking at us going, these boys are doing all right at the moment. Like, you're on a great. I think we were like 8 games into this winning run. So we're like, surely they've got to adapt for us. Anyway, watch them line up a kick-off, and I'm straight in the boys' ear going, 3 at the back here, boys.
Yeah.
So, and we literally kicked off, went straight through them and scored. And they come running over to me, the boys, like, fucking, it's madness, what are they doing? And that was just like, so we'd smashed them a couple of weeks before, and then fair play to them, like they
changed it up.
They
went 4 at the back.
7 at the back.
Yeah. So look, we did well that year to get on that run, but.
Decent little crowd there at GF too.
Yeah. I was at Olympic that year, and we played just 3 times. And I remember saying I think it was Boydo at the time, and he was like, "Oh, what are they like? What are they like?" And I was like, honest to God, they're the best footballing team we've played all year. Like, and that's not pissing in your pocket, but like just the way that he's played, like, Knights and stuff, hard team, Gold Coast City or whatever they were called at the time. Tough sides, but like when it comes down to like the footballing, the way that it was actually played, it was like the best team that I played in that season.
I think like for me there, like growing up watching Watford, didn't watch much good football, so I think like your coaching is like an extension of you a little bit. So I've always, as a coach, wanted players that will work hard without the ball. Like we had some interesting conversations when he first came. But I kind of got to a stage with the boys where they knew that if they lost the ball, if they didn't go and get it back, something would be said to them. So that kind of, to me, is what clicked everything. And then the being good in possession and being attacking. I didn't do an awful lot of work in that year we won it. We didn't do a lot of work in terms of how we wanted to build up, etc. It was more like I wanted to make sure defensively we were sound, and through the middle of the park we knew our jobs, how to press. And then I just let them.
I suppose if you're playing teams that are turning the ball over in their own half, you got some pretty good weapons to sort of do the rest of it.
Yeah, Dill, like Harry Sawyer, he came back to us and scored goals for fun, and Dill got going, and then Joey Duckworth always chipped in with sort of 10-15 goals. It's like good to see him doing well now, to be fair to him. Like he's probably one of the few out of that group that's not gone on that probably could go on. And then Penga started to do a little bit off the bench in that year we won it, and then after that year, like before I left, we were doing well. I think we were top of the league when I left, and we were doing well again. And again, I was just sort of sitting back going, off you go, boys. We worked a little bit more in that pre-season because we went to Japan after, and we got smashed by the Japanese. They absolutely killed us, which took us down. Like we'd come off winning the NPL, and everyone was like superstars. And the first game we played in Japan, they beat us 5-0, and we didn't get kicked. So we sort of sat down and reviewed it as a group, and we're like, wow, like we're so far behind other people, other countries. So then we did some more work attacking wise and how we wanted to build up, and I think that's what helped Dill start to get into better positions more consistently, and And Deal, to be fair, like I said, he didn't want to defend when he first come. He was like, just give me the ball and I'll score. And I was like, great, but when you don't have the ball, you're killing us.
Yeah.
And then he sort of learnt what was expected defensively, and no surprise then that the Raw took him, to be fair.
Chance. And then you went across to Hong Kong.
Yep.
Culture change, massive.
Massive culture change, language barrier. Football was so different.
Yeah.
The football sort of fitted the culture in terms of quite like reserved and not really like up and in your face, like maybe like the Aussie spirit. Like you know, you lose the ball and the front three just stop and the midfield just stay back and stay in their shape, which was coming from being a head coach where I could control that to going as an assistant coach, couldn't really control that. It's a definite eye opener.
Yeah. Does the weather come into that fact at all? Like, is it so?
Yeah, like so pre-season is so from like pre-season, which was June, July to about October, it was like here, like red hot, humid, stinking, training on AstroTurf every day. And then it goes winter, like almost like the UK. It doesn't snow, but it got cold.
Yeah.
So you kind of go sort of full seasons with it. But yeah, the football was different. Language barrier was interesting because everyone could speak English.
Yeah.
But like training was done in Cantonese.
Yeah.
And the foreign boys you had there, like we had some Brazilians and a Spanish boy, like they would speak English. So my sort of job was to look after the foreign boys because they could all speak English. But it was like training's done in Cantonese, and then you've got someone talking, translating it back, and then there's someone one of the Brazilian boys was translating it to Portuguese. So it was just this like constant talking. Like, trying to coach was tough. Chaos. Like you had 3 translations going on, which was interesting. Had a good time there. Like again, going as an assistant coach, like I quite like being an assistant coach sometimes because you can. For me, like I just love being on the field. Yeah. All the stuff behind the scenes, not massively keen on. Yeah. But just being on the field, trying to change behaviour is what I like, and that was kind of my job there. So I enjoyed that side of it, and there was just like some issues off the field between head coach and one of the assistant coach, which was just sitting back watching it, going, what's going on? Here? Like,
and you did 1 year there?
Yeah, I did 1 year. Yeah.
And that was enough. You'd learned a bit, and you thought,
I'd learned a bit. The head coach that brought me over was female, and she resigned end of January. Yeah. And then they brought a new head coach in, and I already had a trip back to Australia booked because we had a break to come and get my little boy and bring him back for a few weeks. And he came to me and he said, "Well, what do you think this is? A holiday?" And I was like, "Mate, we've been going since June." Like, I was private, so I didn't really get on with him straight away. He kind of looked at me and went,
"Where was he from?"
He was from Latvia. He played in the Premier League and stuff. But the thing that, like, I don't mind saying because I probably won't watch it, but the thing that got me with him was...
I don't know, bro, we're pretty big in Latvia. Got a few likes all around the world, man.
Just hashtag it.
Be careful.
He come in and he, like the first time we met him at a dinner. We went for a coach's dinner and he come. So he sat next to me because spoke English. Yeah. And the head coach at the time sat across the table. And he's like throwing some bombs. Yeah. Like going, "Oh, fucking, you're not working hard enough, you're unfit." And I'm going, part of my job was the fitness. So I was like, "We're top of the league, buddy. Like, where are you getting that from?" Yeah. And he was like, "I can just see it." I was like, "Fuck off." I was like, "Mate, we've got all the GPS data. Yeah. Like, we've got everything. We had all the gear, just no idea, but we had everything." And he's going, "No, I can just see they're not fit." And I'm like, that's a massive statement. Like, we're top of the league. Like, you better be able to back that up. And then first board meeting we went to, he basically said the same in front of everybody. He said, the problem here is they're not fit. Like, they don't work hard enough without the ball, which was probably fair in terms of working hard. But the fitness statement got me because I was like, it's my job, mate. Like, prove that. Yeah. Like, top of the league. Like, and not just that. If you actually then look at the data, which he had never done, we were actually okay. So not great. Like, the boys at Western Pride were running more than the boys in Hong Kong. But I was like looking at it going, don't be like disrespectful when you come in. Like, there's people here that have been working hard. Yeah,
and fair enough, if you're at the bottom of the league, maybe you could start throwing that statement around, but if you're top,
we were top of the league.
Whatever you're doing.
The coaching change only happened because the head coach fell out with the assistant, who basically had more power than her. And he down tools. I've never seen anything like it in any job I've ever done. He just down tools and went, "Nah, you can all off," basically. Like, we had FIFA TV come out in October to do a piece on the coach. And he said in the staff meeting, when FIFA TV come for the 3 days, I'm not helping. And I was like, yeah, all right. Yeah, good one, mate. Yeah. the day they turned up, we've all got every night we'd have our session plan. So you were doing this, you were doing that. Gone onto the training field. I was starting the session, and then he was meant to do the next bit. So I've started it, and I'm sort of looking over my shoulder, going, "Where's he set up then?" And I'm going, "He ain't set up." So I got one of the other sort of staff members over, and I said, "Where's he setting up?" They're like, "No." And then I look, and he's got his hands in his pocket, the hood up, and he's looking out over the water, and he's just stood there like that. I'm like, fair play. Like, he told us he ain't doing anything, like, but he ain't fucking doing anything. So. Like, we're running around trying to set the next part of the session up.
Trying to look professional for
fucking FIFA TV. Like, so she's like talking to the camera because the France ladies national coach came out and was like a mentor on this program for FIFA. So she'd already said, like, I'm not in the session, like, it's you guys. So yeah, we're trying to not look like spuds where the players are spending 15 minutes going, well, what's next? Like doing keep ups and stuff. So after the session, I was like, what is that? And he's like, I told you, nothing, I'm not helping. And I was like,
what was his reason for that though?
Just
like
the fallout.
Fallout. Like, they'd won the league a couple of years before, and he felt like he'd done a lot of the work, and he could coach. To be fair, like when he's on, he could coach, and he felt like FIFA TV being there for the other coach was disrespectful. And that's, for me, Asia's all about respect.
If
you don't get that part right, you're dead.
So just take off the Happy Valley every Wednesday
Happy
night.
Valley, Wednesday night is a good, I definitely recommend that.
I've been meaning to get there.
I did that more and more as once I got to February and the coach changed, and I was like, I'm not working for this guy.
So you're the guy with the hands in the pockets.
No.
Checking the
I tried to stay professional on the pitch, but
just back hurting, liver hurting.
Made sure I got down to Happy Valley. Definitely a good place, mate.
And then decided to head back?
No, so I finished in Hong Kong in May, and then I went home, took my little boy home to the UK for a couple of weeks, and when I was at home, the head coach that I started working for in Hong Kong, she got the head coach job for the Chinese under-16 women's national team. And she rang me and said, we're going into the AFC tournament in September. Like, will you come out and help me? So I think I was in Spain at the time, actually. I was like, like, I'm on holiday, but like, if you give me 2 weeks to...
Just a few scurries do.
Pretty much. I was like, if you can give me 2 weeks, I'll drop the little boy back in Australia, and then, I'll do it. So, I did that till end of September. I love that. That's the best coaching job I've ever had. Like, just... The language barrier is brilliant. Because in Hong Kong they could speak a bit of English, but in China it's Mandarin or nothing. And it was only the head coach and one translator that could speak English. So like, I'd come down for team meals, I'd just sit and eat my dinner, and they're all talking, and I'm like, I haven't got a clue what you're talking about. But they're like, their head coach would then come up to me like after and go, "Oh, they were just arguing about this," and I'm like, "I don't care. Like, do what you want. Like, get on with it." Like, and she would just say, "I want you to coach. Like, just go and coach. Basically, plan your session. Like, you know what we want." Because I've worked with her. She was like, "Just go and coach it. Run the conditioning side. Make sure that sticks how we want it. Plan for the tournament." Did all of that. So I loved that, and we got knocked out in the semi-final by Japan. Which is pretty. We're 15 minutes away from a World Cup, which was pretty devastating, to be fair. Especially when it was like a individual mistake that cost us. But that was, I loved that job. And we were pretty unlucky, like any other year in that competition, the top 3 qualify. But because the tournament's meant to be in India in October, there was only the top 2 because it was Asian. Because we then played the 3rd, 4th place playoff against Australia and beat them. So, we were pretty unlucky not to get to a World Cup, which would have been amazing. Like, as a coach, like, that's probably my ultimate ambition is to go to World Cup. So
100%.
Sitting on the bus on the way home going, 15 minutes for a World Cup, like, fuck, I wonder whether that's going to come around again. Like, it was pretty
stiff.
Pretty stiff, but like, it was managed to beat Australia in the semis, which was interesting. And then came back October last year. To Redlands.
Did you get much done, like, at Redlands before the injury? Like, I know it's only happened recently, but it's difficult coming back in October because you're not actually seeing the fruits of the labour until probably the middle of the next season, really. But
I was pretty lucky. Like, when I was in China, I was working behind the scenes for Redlands, like doing some planning. I did a review just to make sure I knew exactly what was going on. Because spoken to people before I took the job, spoken to people back here and said, "What's going on?" And they were like, "Club's struggling a bit at the moment from where it's been. Big job." So I kind of used that time in China to get all my documents planned that how I wanted to implement things, but it's a slow burner. Like the clubs had some issues, I guess, last year with who did what and how they did it. So they're definitely trying to recover from that. And a lot of the younger players there, the talented boys, have moved on to like your Rochdales and to Logans, and for me probably rightly so, because they've, you know, you're paying for a product and they're looking at it going, I don't think, as a parent, don't think we're getting what we paid for, which you know is another issue in terms of fees. But kind of me looking in at what happened last year, I'm kind of going, I kind of understand what they're doing. I'd love it if they hadn't have all left, but they have. So it's just about putting some foundations in, just to
getting
show
them back long term and getting others back.
Just making sure the club's it's a massive region, like you boys all know Brisbane. You know, it's a massive club. It's just probably just on one of them downward spirals at the moment.
Long term job, do you reckon?
Yeah, it has to be a long term job. Yeah, look, for me, leaving Hong Kong. Like I made that decision to leave Hong Kong about March time. I struggled, like as soon as that head coach come in and basically viewed me going back to see my son as a holiday. I was like, nah, not for me. Like my little boy's 4 at the moment, so it was just, you know, speaking to him on FaceTime and he's got different words and doing new things. I was like, I don't mind being. I can be away from him
when there's a purpose that you believe in.
Got to be worth it. And that's why I like going to China. Like still we'll do stuff with China. Like Redlands have been good about that. Like I've gone out and helped Dozzi in Guam as well. So Redlands are really good where they let me go off and do the international stuff and then come back and help them. So definitely a long-term thing, but I just didn't want to be away from my boy. That's someone I didn't want to work for, to be honest, because he was a bit of a nightmare.
Well, look, what we'll do, we're going to finish off every episode now with you're going to drop into there and pick out a couple and give them to Nabby and Dusty, and they can read them out for you. And then give one to Nabby. We'll do one at a time. Dusty?
Last concert you attended?
Elton John. Elton John in Cairns, mate.
We've been talking about Elton John today.
Massive. That was a couple of years ago. Good concert, that.
So
2 hours non-stop.
Not done this because you handed me that. But.
Good concert, Elton John. Big fan.
Last person you dialed on your mobile?
Last person I dialed on my mobile. Not very sociable. Last person I dialed on my mobile was probably my dad, because my brother texted me on Thursday and said me and mum and dad were going over to look after his kids, and my mum's not very well back home, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like with all this virus stuff. And he was like, I've got to do a course, and I was like, fuck. So I rang my dad and said, what are you thinking? And my dad's like old school, like it's all a conspiracy. Like
the
Chinese
Americans,
conspiracy.
Trump.
Like my dad won't turn his Bluetooth on in the car because he's like, someone will be watching you. Like, my God. So I rang him and said, what are you thinking? Like, me mum, you'll kill me mum. And he's like, nah, be alright. So that was the last time last call I made.
Alright, well look, thanks for coming in. I know that you're injured at the minute. So
big effort.
You managed to get here. We do appreciate it. I think it's been a really good chat.
Very
informative.
Very much.
And wish you all the best with what's going on at Redlands and in the future.
Same to you boys with football.
So,
cheers, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Alright, and thanks to the lads. We'll take a little break and then we'll chat some more shit for 45 minutes or whatever. So, alright, thanks lads.
Cheers, boys.
This is not just a dream, it's a wet dream of